Hello, hello, beautiful person watching this. I am so happy that you're here. Welcome back to another Slay the Spire Ascension 20 Silent Run. On this channel, I upload my recorded wins with some commentary and general discussion about this beautiful game that we play. Having a look here, the right path has a nice 3 elite path with a campfire before the first elite. I do take a curse for 250 gold, intending to remove it at this first shop here. And it is a normality, which is the worst curse later in the run, but perhaps not as bad as pain in these early act 1 here, where we're rarely playing more than 3 cards a turn. Anyway, and I take 6 here to ensure that I can actually kill it this turn. Very scary fight there. And a dagger throws here, just in case. It's also the best card here anyway on floor 1, but just in case one of these question marks is a fight, we can discard the normality. And already rewarded, both playing 4 cards in a turn and discarding normality. And getting a hallway fight from question mark. So yes, indeed, all 3 of the things happened immediately after making that decision. And likely to kill soon. Just block as much as I can there. For sure. And a big 18 from Jawworm here. 17 rather. Here we can usually kill. Got there. Not too bad of a Jawworm there. Go find a Ghost in a Jar. That's an amazing potion. And a Predator is very good as well. And we find a shop at a question mark just before our real shop here. A little bit awkward, perhaps. But we did find a meal ticket. And sustain is pretty good on the silent, especially the way I play, which is badly sometimes. Perhaps if you're a player who blunders more than the good players do, then you can consider taking sustain higher than those players do. And so I take a meal ticket knowing I'm about to heal for 15 going into the next shop, and there's another shop even later on in the act. And only 144 gold left now. Don't want to go too crazy here. And footwork is here, which looks good, but a little bit early for it, and that's a lot of gold, and we do have a shop coming up later, so saving it just in case there's like a nice relic we want to buy later on or something like that instead. And slime went pretty well there. Find the power potion as well and a dagger spray. Not gonna say no to a dagger spray. Upgrade that as well. Very good against all of the hard hallway fights with multiple enemies, as well as sentries. And it's a big damage increase when you upgrade it. And definitely consider clicking in the gold there, but already wasting a card move essentially on that curse. Definitely want to remove a strike since that one has so many cards in the starter deck. And a pretty good turn 1 there. Predator and dagger spray is good. Definitely going to hang on to our Ghost in the Jar as long as we can. Here we're only, in quotes, taking 18 damage. And definitely killing next turn, so do we want to use the Ghost in the Jar or not, is a good question. Yeah, save it. Find an Ormetal Fan. Whenever we play 3 attacks in the same turn, we'll gain 4 block. Pretty solid. Find a die, so that's some more solid attack. And we find a Courier. Pretty good for our shop synergy. We have the meal ticket as well, already encouraging us to visit shops, and then the Courier gives us a 20% discount and a restocking of items that we find. And with his Ornamental Fan, this Blade Dance looks pretty good to me. Flash Steel also looks pretty good, but that's quite expensive and perhaps unnecessary. There's also a Calculated Gamble, and Calculated Gamble notably is in the skill pile, which may present us another good skill once we've clicked on it because of the Courier restocking. And so definitely making the decisions a little bit more complicated when you have Courier. It's not just a matter of, oh, this card good, I click it. It's what else could be, you know, behind door number 2. And another colorless card is perhaps not as enticing as another skill for the silent. I go right for more elites. It's a great looking hand. I dagger spray. And then I can get my 3rd attack with the Nooch or the Ornamental Fan and then play a Survivor. Seems a great turn, only considering do I power potion or not. But with this kind of opener against sentries, probably a bit of a waste to do so. Hoping to be able to kill the left sentry here. And I can, but it would involve taking 10. I instead do that because I know I have a Blade Dance in there, which will kill more efficiently and give me 4 block, so that's a pretty good turn. Definitely seems right. A little bit awkward here. I'm trying to line it up so I kill the one on the right next turn before it attacks me, but I may not draw the damage, and indeed it's at 1. Very sad. That's a very, very sad draw, in fact. Didn't even draw Defend as a consolation prize. But I get to kill the one on the left while it's hitting me this turn, so not too bad. And Mummified Hand is here. Very strong relic, usually. Whenever you play a power, reduce the cost of a random card in your hand to 0 for that turn. And we love to see some good powers now, but not much here. Another Dagger Spray is on offer, a Deflect as well, but take it Prepared instead for just a little bit of card selection. And possible discard synergy. Dead Adventurers here, sadly it is Eviscerated and Chopped. And Lagavulin from that event is much harder than normal because it doesn't sleep. And not only does it not sleep, it actually debuffs you on turn 1, giving you -2 strength and dex. Absolutely brutal opener. So the only elite of the 3 that is any different than the normal fight, Lagavulin. And I think my last 4 Dead Adventures that I've seen were all Eviscerated and Chopped, and I could not click it. It's very, very sad, of course. Very, very rarely should you even be capable of clicking Eviscerated and Chopped without dying. I think Defect can get away with it just because focus doesn't get reduced. Other than that, perhaps a bit too challenging of a fight for most characters. And with the Power Pot against real Lagavulin here, get an Envenom. Could be some nice scaling damage. In hindsight, I would have played the Dagger Spray over Defend there and taken 3. Quite a lot of damage. We'll see if it matters. So it would be at, I don't even know how much health. 9, perhaps, right now. So actually wouldn't have mattered. Passed me, saved 3 health over current me. And Toxic Egg is here. Whenever we add any skill to our deck, it'll be upgraded from now on. Very, very strong relic on the Silent, usually. But a little bit of a spoiler for this run. We don't find that many good skills. At no point are we offered acrobatics in this entire run. And this run ends up being very strange as a result of this. And there's a Piercing Wail Plus. That's a great card. And considering, do I need to rest going into Guardian here? And I certainly might need to rest here. But I have Ghost in a Jar, and I think in worst case scenario, I will use that. This ends up being very sus, though. $17 health Guardian fight, and normally the Silent is very, very good against Guardian. If we had taken the footwork, then we would be very, very easily winning this fight without taking any damage, perhaps, but we don't really have any block other than the Ormel Fan, which doesn't really work when Guardian is in defensive stance. And so this fight is perhaps a bit more awkward than past me gave it credit for while in that campfire screen. We obviously do still make it out, but it wasn't so clear-cut. Tough choice here. We're looking for this Blade Dance to block for us. We're looking for that Neutralize to block for us. And Crippling Cloud seems good, but only 4 poison. And I'd like to draw some cards, so I play the Adrenaline and then Gamble, it seems. And also Piercing Wail, of course, will full block if we draw it, so I'm looking for that. I think that's what I wanted, indeed. And applying the poison there, as it's very important to get there on the damage front. before we die. And I pass there to make sure that I don't do any more damage. That way, basically getting a free turn here. If I had done any more damage, it would have split last turn, and that's a bit of a waste of like 20 damage. Definitely correct there. Now, defensive stance again. Weave in a nooch. And I play Corpse Explosion over Defend there. Trying to set up 2-turn lethal. Questionable. Definitely questionable. Could have not done that, and it wouldn't have been nearly as scary here. So that was a mistake. But we made it through with 1 health. And Malaise Plus is on offer. Better than the other 2 cards, probably. Considered in Venom. I do have a Mummified Hand as well. But considering we have this Toxic Egg, I was definitely thinking it's going to be more of a, you know, play a bunch of skills as Silent does. Maybe get some poison, some regular poison, catalysts, and whatnot, and win that way. But we have a very strange boss reward here. Choker unpickable with Blade Dance, and Prepared and Gamble and all that. So Wrist Blade is there also with just a Blade Dance, and then there's Bell. So I take the Bell, and we're offered Bronze Scales, reflecting 3 damage every time we take attack damage. That's quite good against the Heart and some other fights that attack you a lot. And then we found Shuriken and Duvedal, both providing us a lot of strength. And so suddenly we're being very kind of forced into playing, you know, attacks. And it's a bit strange. We have this Toxic Egg that kind of wants to pull us elsewhere. But then now we have this Shuriken. Should have played Strike there to get Shuriken proc. And yeah, very strange. We do have Corpse Explosion, which will help us kind of... We can target one thing down and rely on a Corpse Explosion to do area of effect damage, or multi-hit, multi-enemy damage. Getting through Chosen pretty comfortably here. Dex Pot, probably don't want that. And Deflect Plus is here, only 3 energy. Seems like a reasonable pickup. And take the Relic, surely. And Preserved Insect is excellent. Elites have less health. And going very low here. Got the bad event into take 7. And so here we are at a shop again, Healing Force 15 from Meal Ticket. And I take Concentrate to see what's behind the curtain. Concentrate not quite good yet, but expecting to find some card draw, especially if we can click through these skill piles. Take another Piercing Whale. Piercing Whale, an excellent card, of course. Definitely consider clicking Toy Ornithopter here as more sustain, since I'm so low health already. But decided against it. And then here, card move versus Well-Laid Plans is real. Definitely would like to buy Well-Laid Plans, especially with Mummified Hand, but just a bit too much muns, and card moving just a bit too good, I think. And with Ghost in the Jar and Draw Pot and Preserved Insect, I'm comfortable to go into even a Slaver's fight here. As brutal as it normally is. Didn't draw the Piercing Whale, sadly. So, going to be taking a lot if I don't Ghost in the Jar here. Kind of crazy that Piercing Whale blocks for 23 damage there. But yeah, I can just Ghost in the Jar. Ornamental Fan heals me for 4 health, or 3 health, I suppose, and then get there. And Meat on the Bone is excellent. If we end a fight below half health, we will gain 12 current health. And take a Prepared Plus, looking for any sort of draw at all. And would love, like, discard synergies. Reflex would be amazing. Acro would be amazing. Take a upgrade, probably Blade Dance. Yep, we have quite a lot of strength. Rewards us for playing a lot of attacks. And we do have bronze scales here, so can just corpse explode on one of the ones that are hitting me this turn and block for as much as I can and win that way. Don't need to actually take the damage for bronze scales to work, so it's fine to do what I just did. Good, heal for 12. So this is a run where our card rewards are going to be very, very bad, like the whole run, but the relics are going to be carrying me. And Unseizing Top is here. I do have a Curse of the Bell in my deck, so I do refuse getting the Curse of the Bell in my hand all the time. Could be very, very awkward. I do have a Concentrate, so it could have been a bit better than I was giving it credit for here, but I think it would just be frustrating too often to have that Unseizing Top around. And considering, do I malaise for 3 or just 2 after defending? I end up draw potting. There's a Piercing Wail, which I could use to block for all of the damage here, but could also just Blade Dance to block for 4 and then save it for later. I believe it'll go down to 3 times 2, so I'll take 2. Could have considered playing this a bit differently to actually take damage on purpose, but I will probably take damage whether I want to or not after this turn. But definitely want to get into meat on the bone range. Boy, is this Concentrate bad right now. But expecting to find like even just 1 Acrobatics plus and to the moon. You would think it's not so hard. And I'm 1 away from Meat on the Bone doing something, so could have played this a bit differently to take 1 more damage. And Darkstone Periapt is here, and whenever I add a curse to my deck, I gain 6 maximum health. One of the worst relics in the game. You do not want to add curses to your deck, and gaining 6 max health is not nearly enough of a payoff. With Duvu Doll, you might think it's good, but already doing plenty of work with 2 strength. And take a Terror. I seem to be leaning into the attack thing, whether I want to or not, so happy to find a card that makes you do more damage. Sadly not finding Corpse Explosion, which I want to kill the Cultist with after playing the Corpse Explosion, so that it'll do 54 damage to the Chosen. And there it is. But taking 11. A bit tough. But Meat on the Bone procs once again. So not too bad after all. Really gotta draw this damage. And I get there. It wasn't hitting me anyway, so it would have been fine. But could have been scary. And another Piercing Wail is here. If you are unfamiliar with how strong Piercing Wail is, you will not be unfamiliar anymore after this run is over. Boy, is that card insane. Still didn't draw it here, sadly. But I do have a Cunning Potion, which is very good here. In my deck, I mean. Each Shiv dealing 8 damage by default. And proccing Shuriken and Ornamental Fan by itself. So, Cunning Potion is dealing 24 damage, make that 36 damage. And giving me 1 strength and 4 block. Very huge. Corpse Explode here, perhaps. Yep. Could have been right not to do this. But I find the Blade Dance. So I should have drawn first. It was probably wrong to do this if I didn't draw Blade Dance. But we made it out. Relatively unscathed. Healing yet again from Meat on the Bone. Very strong. Another Concentrate Plus is here, but the first one is already so bad. Definitely don't want a second one. So take the Dash for some consistent block. Dash is also upgraded somehow. It's an attack, but getting the egg treatment there. Probably should play Predator here. Seems good. And I even do the thing I forgot about earlier, get my Shuriken proc instead of playing one more X for Malaise. And we did find some relics, didn't mention Happy Flower, excellent. When we have only 3 energy, giving us more energy. And then Letter Opener. Every time we play 3 skills in a turn, we will deal 5 damage to all enemies. And actually getting there against the Chosen here, which is pretty huge. Could have taken a lot of damage there. Would have had Meat on the Bone anyway, but still fine. And Riddle with Holes is here, dealing quite a lot of damage, more than normal. But there's also a Cloaking Dagger, charging our Shuriken more, giving us some block. Happy about that. And works with Letter Opener. It's a solid one. Upgraded Prepared. And we go into Collector. Going pretty quickly here. I feel like I'm talking very fast. So a very strange run. Hard to find card draw. Don't have a well-laid plans yet. But we are getting carried by Blade Dance and Piercing Wail, pretty much. Piercing Wail yet again. First one blocked for 14 plus 8, 22. This one's also blocking for 22. For 1 energy. Pretty nuts. And I'm trying to get this one low, but not dead, so that my Corpse Explosion will kill it. But it doesn't look like I'm drawing it, unfortunately. And Dida is here, so definitely playing that. And Collector is just dying. Already down to 140. Making more minions. Probably Predator over that. Yep. Pretty wild. Predator better than Corpse Explosion plus on a boss. Here we are. And once again, Piercing Wail is here, blocking for 24. Boy, is it good. I can probably point everything at Collector at this point. Instead, I choose to kill the minion. It's totally fine as well. The Corpse Explosion will basically convert all the damage I deal to it to the Collector. Aside from the poison that I've wasted. And that will die always. Oof, that's a bad hand. Would have been good to have Unseizing Top there, I'll tell you that. But we made it through, no problem. And a Power Potion, and another Malaise. Probably. Malaise actually gives Concentrate something to do. We can exhaust or discard our other cards, and then play a big Malaise for a lot of X. Doppelganger was the same, but Doppelganger just kind of sucks, unfortunately. And here's a big decision. Runic Dome versus Sozu. I'm okay with my potions. I don't feel like I need them. I really hate taking Runic Dome. I've taken Runic Dome a lot lately. Just kind of had to, so I reluctantly click on Sozu. And you are about to see a horrendous decision involving Sozu. And luckily we still make it through, but it's a mistake I almost never make, if ever. Perhaps the first time I've ever done it outside of when I was brand new to the game. And just thinking in threes here. Make sure I get my Shuriken procs and my Ornamental Fan procs. Survivor, Corpse Explosion, even Malaise as well. This fight went well. I am doing quite a lot of damage, but my deck... I don't think my deck has any business doing as well as it is. The relics are carrying me rather hard. And well-laid plants here, definitely clicking on that. Boy, is that good. Lets me hold Piercing Wail for the correct turns. Make sure I always have one basically locked and loaded. Course Explode, that one is it has the most health. Probably not necessary because I would play some area of effect eventually. Such as Letter Opener. And of course Dagger Spray, Die, all those. And here is Piercing Wail blocking for 12, 22, no. 16 plus 12 plus 8. 36. Pretty good. Another Cloak and Daggers here if I want. Accuracy is also here, but I already have so much damage. Shuriken and Duvu Doll. And Terror. Really no need to take this accuracy, make myself worse against the Woke Bird. Just to deal some more damage. We're already in those long fights where we can play a lot of attacks. Definitely already looking pretty good. Other than perhaps Time Eater. But against Time Eater, it's whatever. Just malaise that guy twice and Piercing Wail and all that. Try to find some poison. I think it'd be fine. And we get the upgrade, take it over Warped Tongs, because I don't want pain in my deck. I remember playing this fight badly at some point. I don't think I got punished or anything, but... And I was trying to not kill that. That was mistake number 1. I killed it too fast. Wanted the Corpse Explode. But I mean, trying to just draw a Corpse Explosion might be a little bit ambitious anyway, so... Perhaps fine, after all. Could have not played Malaise there also. Just in case. And indeed, would have been good here. So mistake yet again. And ouch. Yeah, like I have nothing to do with my energy this turn without that Malaise, and I spent it for 0 last turn. Definitely wrong. There's good cards. Made it through. Wasn't as bad as I remember, but maybe that's just because that's... To me, that is like massive, massive mistakes. And take a Quick Slash Plus. I'm that down bad for draw right now that I take a Quick Slash Plus in Act 3. I need draw so badly. Just stuff to do with my energy. It isn't Malaise. And, yeah, I mean, you charge a Shuriken or Metal Fan, does damage. It's fine, but it is no aggro. Sadly can't Piercing Wail this guy, because it is, oof, barely can't kill it. Very sad. It has artifact charges. Got out, and here's the mistake. That's a beautiful looking Alchemize, isn't it? It's upgraded and everything. Yeah, that's not how that works. We have a Sozu, can't make potions. So yeah, possibly the only time I've ever done that after reaching Ascension 20 in this game. I've never straight up forgotten about it like that. And at this point, I still don't remember that I did that. I have to try to make the potion first to remember. Pretty tough turn here. 45 is a lot. So Piercing Wail. And then here we go. These powers are all pretty bad. Try to make a potion. Whoops. Ouch. And take a billion as well. So yeah, that was probably the worst mistake I've made on any video in this channel so far. But no shame here. Point and laugh all you want. I still killed the heart on Ascension 20 in this run. And Kunai is here, so now we have all 3 of the ninja relics that benefit from playing 3 attacks in 1 turn. I find a Fumes plus, it's pretty good. So now we'll gain 1 dex and 1 strength and 3 block if we play 3 attacks in a turn. So Blade Dance is suddenly the best card in the game. Give us more of those, please. And Acro to draw them faster. And so now I have to play this Alchemize every fight just to get it out of my hand. A completely dead draw. Very sad. And I could perhaps try to gamble into something better than Malaise. But I just play the Malaise for 5. Take 15. And yeah, Meat on the Bone is hard carrying me. All of my relics are hard carrying me. Very, very strong relics here. Like, look at that relic bar. All 3 of the ninja relics. Duvidal with 2 strength. Preserved Insect, Meat on the Bone. Those are very, very good relics. Possibly one of the stronger relic bars I've had ever. Relative to the run. Like, sometimes you get a relic bar that looks really good on paper, but that deck just didn't need those relics. But I mean, this Meat on the Bone, for example, is huge. And I'm actually using the Shuriken, I'm actually using the Kunai. Very nice. Pretty much the only real stinker up there is Darkstone Periapt. Everything else is at least good, if not outstanding. Gonna skip those, not interested in those. Deadly Poison was a consideration for some damage against like Time Eater perhaps, but I have so much damage at this point, and I should be able to outscale Time Eater playing Shivs with Kunai and Shuriken. And I can play 3 skills to proc Letter Opener. Go defend Malaise, or Piercing Wail. Say the other Malaise for later, if I feel like it. Malaise pretty good against Repto. Does multi-hit you sometimes. And it looks like Dagger Spray plus Corpse Explosion will kill one of them. And then I have to try to block as much as I can. Taking a lot of damage here. Yet again, getting carried by Meat on the Bone. There's Alchemize again. Very sad. So I intentionally added a Slimed to my deck. A 0-cost Slimed. But a Slimed nonetheless. And we get the Repto. An Incense Burner is here, an excellent relic. Every 6 turns, we will gain 1 intangible. We'll be gaining, or we're trying to be putting that on the right number as often as we can. And 440 gold is a lot of gold. Hoping to spend that on some good stuff. Take 7. Very sad. And oof, that's a lot of damage. Hoping we can find a way out here. Gonna have to probably gamble this hand. Could play Dagger Throw, see what we draw, but that might be risky. Just pitch the whole hand. And looking for Weaken in particular. Definitely that's blocking for 12. Love to see that. And we do have some decks from the Kunai as well. So defend, Malaise, full blocks. It's pretty good. And it's vulnerable again, but we can't kill it here. Hopefully we draw something off that's prepared. That'd be great. And there's a Dagger Spray got there. I think it's dead. Yeah. So we are doing a lot of damage, and we are healing a lot. And there's a Reflex. God, that's exactly what we want, other than Acro. Definitely considered clicking Doubt, because it's a 41 heal, and a Curse in our deck is good for Duvidal. But no. The problem with the Curse relics is that they don't make adding it they still don't make adding a Curse to your deck good. So it's like, if you have the option to add a Curse to your deck, you're still not going to choose to do so, usually. I could have played Blade Dance there. Probably would have in hindsight. Would have been 2 Shuriken and Kunai charges. But Guardian's going to be free. No need to really think about this fight very much. We have double melees for Guardians. It'll be hitting us for 0 quite often. And suddenly with this just 1 reflex, our deck is going to be a billion times better. Still not quite as much draw as we'd like, but just goes to show how significant those sort of cards are. And I'd like to leave this fight with burner on a good number. Four is good, for sure. Made it out, find a Tori. If we would take 5 or less unblocked damage, we would take 1 damage instead. Excellent against the heart when it's hitting you for 4 times 15, for example. This fight is legitimately harder than the Guardian. There's my Alchemize. Huge. And we are intangible here, so a good example of it actually doing something good. This fight would normally be hitting us for 25 right there, total, including the constrict damage. It wouldn't have been too bad, of course, with the meal on the bone. The damage is actually pretty high here. Kind of wild. Am I wrong about the numbers? It's 37 damage, actually. There's another Blade Dance. That's really good. And 547 gold, of course, we're going right. Didn't mention I found... somehow missed both Oddly Smooth Stone and Maw Bank, but Oddly Smooth Stone starting with 1 dexterity each fight, and Maw Bank giving us 12 gold per floor until we reach a shop. So we are definitely looking to spend some gold here. We have a lot of it now. And ouch! It's a lot of damage, but we do have a piercing, a whale. Blocking for 32 damage. Boy, is it insane. And we can set up to kill one of the minions next turn. Corpse Explosion. And we'd love to make it out of the fight here with Burner on 5, but probably not going to... Could I? Probably not. No reason not to send everything at Repto, I suppose. And I just pitch that hand to block as much as I can after getting my 1 proc of playing 3 attacks. And last fight, for sure, before the Act 3 bosses. Burner on 0 is rather bad. I would love to get it on 3 or 4. And so I am going to sit here a bit against Repto and test my luck. Do have 4 decks, so it shouldn't be too hard to full block against just Repto. Only take 1 because of Tori. And I was even considering, can I get into Meat on the Bone range, but that's a little bit ambitious. I want to take the 5 to go down to the perfect range. I would only take 1 instead. And anything more than that gets a little bit sus. So Burner's on 3. I would like it on 4. That's the first turn we get attacked by the minions, and sometimes you will get multi-hit by Wokebird. So definitely considering here, like, would I rather have it on 3 or 4? And I thought for quite some time. relative to how long I usually think. But yeah, definitely landed on 4 and it worked out. Strawberry for some max health. Another piercing whale's here. Do I want, what is that, 4th piercing whale? Probably. It's good. Looks like I'm considering accuracy the most, though, at this point. Accuracy plus 2 Blade Dance plus and a Cloak and Dagger plus. But for the same reason as earlier, I'd probably skip it. I don't remember having one of those. Skip versus Piercing Whale. You really can't have enough Piercing Whale. It's really good. I mean, you can, of course, but err on the side of having too many, I would say. Much easier to have not enough. Here we go. 593 gold with Courier. I take 1 footwork. It's not as good at this point. We do have a kunai. So I do click Concentrate again because I want to see what's behind the skill pile again. No acro. Could have clicked Deadly Poison here, I think. That would have been fine. Just to see what's behind it. It is upgraded already. And only costs 23. It's on sale, so perhaps should have considered clicking Deadly to see if there was an acro behind the curtain yet again. It was fine to take. Yet again, could use some help against Time Eater, maybe. Considering, do I Survivor or do I just Malaise? The benefit of Malaise is -1 more strength. So even though I wouldn't full block, it would be better long term. And I am intangible, so I can just rip the full Malaise here if I want. But considering the damage, really what I should have done here is concentrate on the Curse and Strike, and then Malaise for 9. At this point, I realize, oh god, I have nothing left to do with my energy. Whoops. So, a small mistake there. And it's hitting me for 0 times 4. We reduce his strength by a lot. But I am going to play some powers, so I will be taking some damage. And leaving this at 1 is a bit sad. Yep. I should actually play this prepared. I could have played prepared and Letter Opener would have procced. And I would have taken no damage instead of 5 damage or whatever. But getting the power in play is also fine. Not too bad. And so even though we played a lot of powers here, it's very low strength, so it should be totally safe. Holy Plants is definitely getting played though. Boy, is that good. And I save the Shiv after playing 3 attacks. That way I can save it for next turn to perhaps proc the 3 attack relics a bit more. And in fact rewarded. Just getting there on the second round of those. And we're blocking for a lot. 9 decks. No more terror, sadly. Gonna be doing a lot less damage. I honestly think after a lot of time playing this game, like, I think many people's immediate answer if you ask what is the hardest Act 3 boss fight would be Time Eater. Like, obviously it depends on the deck you're playing, no matter when you're asking that question, but I think most people's answer would just be Time Eater. But I think this is the hardest fight, like, most of the time. Time Eater just gets solved so easily. It only counters, like, the really, really greedy decks or the infinite decks. It is a bummer that some decks just kind of get shut down by a Time Eater, but doesn't mean it's the hardest fight, I imagine. Comment below what you think the hardest Act 3 boss fight is. And also make sure you talk about what that actually means, because the hardest can mean a lot of things. I think what I mean when I say it is the most decks among all the characters have the hardest time out of the 3 bosses. With the not being able to play powers thing without getting a billion damage is kind of brutal. Donu Deka, of course, the easiest of the 3 for most runs. Not to say that I've never died to Donu Deka or anything, that's definitely not true. But it's kind of more of a stat check kind of fight. And most of the time, if you've made it to Act 3 and are prepared to fight the heart, then you're probably ready for Donu Deka, just turns out. They don't have anything particularly, like, you know, fuck this deck in particular kind of abilities. The Time Eater very particularly counters infinite decks and decks that play a lot of cards in one turn. And Wokebird counters decks that... Actually, it's not just the powers thing, it's also the, like, all-in sort of thing, because it also cleanses all of its debuffs after phase 1. So if you're like a Catalyst deck, and your only way to win is Burst Catalyst, then that fight is that, or that deck is better than that against the Heart than it is against Wokebird, interestingly. Around Corpse Explosion. Sadly, if it was 1 less attack there, I would have only taken 2 damage instead of 12. Because of Tori. And I wanted to block here. I should have actually played Fumes because I was only taking 2 damage. Tori. No need to block with defend there. A mistake. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in putting Incense Burner on 4 yet again. I will take damage in order to do that. Because boy is Act 4 lead scary. And it's possible with 2 copies of Malaise and like 4 copies of Piercing Wail that turn 2 is actually less scary than turn 3. Usually it's going a mild attack on turn 1 that shuffles in 2 burns on the top of your draw pile into getting hit for 10 times 4 on turn 2. And then on turn 3, the shield will hit you for 57 if you're facing away from it. And I think with this deck in particular, that turn 3 is actually more scary than the turn 2, just because we can usually Piercing Wail on the Spear to reduce the damage by 32 all by itself. So I do still put it on 4, the Incense Burner. The reality about it is that just in case you really want that, because it's really not just about the damage you're taking, it's also about the fact that you are wasting 2 of your draws on burns that turn. That really makes that turn so deadly. I am intentionally not killing Donu here because if I do, it dies. Both of them die. The fight ends, that's what I mean to say. And I want Burner on 4. Already a meal in the bone range. Playing all of my shivs first before playing Cloak and Dagger, so I block for a bit more. Still taking a lot though. It's fine. I can Predator there. It will not die. Has 45 health. I'm dealing 25 plus 11, 36. No need to worry. And we did it. So taking some damage here, we will heal for 75% of our missing health, and then 15 going into the shop because of meal ticket. So definitely not worried about having low current health here going into Act 4. Should be at high 60s somewhere. Math is hard. And upgrade card. Footwork probably. Nothing else looks particularly exciting. Neutralize would be good if we didn't have 2 copies of Malaise. And Adrenaline is here yet again. Seems good. Would have preferred it to be Acro though, still. And Fairy in a Bottle is there. Can't click it, sadly. We have Sozu. And yet again, there's a Piercing Whale behind the curtain. I take 5th Piercing Whale. And I bought Escape Plan as well, I think. Didn't have that before. That was very fast. And so here's what we're talking about here. Can already break all of the artifact. And just play this Malaise. So this Spire Spear should hit us for, I believe, 5 times through next turn. Maybe 6. 5 times 4, rather. But we do have our Burner anyway. And so here's the big attack from the shield. Definitely want to turn around so it's only hitting us for 38 and then block as much as we can. Probably just going to gamble here. That's a better looking hand. Cloak and Dagger, Deflect, Malaise. Take 1 because of Tori. That's very nice. Hoping to eventually draw our Corpse Explosion. Piercing Whale once again blocking for obscene amounts of damage. Would have loved to draw Piercing Whale here as well. Not enough Piercing Whales. Where are they? But it'll die to my Bronze Scales here, and I was full blocking anyway. Oh no, it won't. It won't die to my Bronze Scales. Which is actually good, because we have Corpse Explosion in our deck. And we're always drawing it. We either hit Reflex Strike, which we can discard the Reflex, or we just hit the Corpse Explosion. And we did it. So only taking 1 and putting Burner on 4. Going into the heart here. So I was definitely interested in winning here. I want to make sure Burner's on the right number before heading out. Find a Centennial Puzzle. And finally a backflip. Wow, isn't that incredible? Backflip is in the game. And Centennial Puzzle quickly. First time we take damage in a fight, draw 3 cards. So I proc it here already. Kind of weird that I do that without getting my full Shuriken proc there. Could have done that or not played it at all. And a bad turn here, but that's what the Incense Burner is for. And we got a bit lucky. It did the big attack on the intangible turn. And of course we would take no damage anyway already from the multi-attack because of our Malaise and our Piercing Whales. So definitely love winning that 50-50. Would have been fine, I think, if it did it on turn 3. But definitely happy about that. And we want to save Malaise. It's going to cleanse its strength minus soon. And it's also going to give itself 2 artifact charges. So we really want to put that Fumes in play. At the start of this turn, it will remove 1 artifact charge. And then that way we can play 1 more thing that removes artifact and then Malaise. And once again, take no damage from the big hit. So Piercing Wailing into artifact on purpose in order to remove artifact and we can Malaise. And I do rip the Blade Dance. Not even the beat of death can stop this silent from dancing with blades. Bronze Scale is definitely very good against the heart. Dealing 60 damage, 45 damage every time it multi hits us. And can save the Alchemize for a turn where we can actually play without taking 2 damage. Definitely looking into scaling our strength and dex. Don't want to get outscaled here. Keep our Piercing Wail at least one around for the next big hit. Basically only blocking for 15 because of Tori, but under normal circumstances the block for a lot more. And once again we have Incense Burner proccing. But in this case it's the multi-attack, so the wrong turn. But at this point we've already pretty much won. So not too mad about that. This is the run that I clicked on Alchemize after clicking on Sozu. Can you believe it? And letting myself take a lot of damage here. Could have considered not doing this. I took a lot of damage to play those shivs, but I knew I would get away with it and be able to kill before the next time it hits me. Or just full block. And I still have a Piercing Wail in my hand. Looks like I'm not going to need it though. I did it. So I will go over my relics there. But yeah, 3-ish strength to combat from Shuriken. Pretty good. And probably big numbers on Meal of the Bone. Man, that was a relic. 132 health. Boy, is that a lot of health. Very, very strong. And Courier getting me 200 gold. That's not bad. Meal Ticket also healing me for 70, so a lot of sustain relics here. Definitely making up for my huge blunders and otherwise stupid mistakes and poor card reward screens for the most part. Making it all the way through the game with no copies of Acrobatics in my deck. Very strange. So yeah, a very strange run involving horrible, horrible plays, but still making it through, proving that you can. So, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and as always, have a beautiful day.